Welcome, everybody, to the stream. I'm Jesus, the host of Respawn Please podcast, and with me, as always, is Ell.
Yeah.
I asked it like it was a question. Is it Ell, are you with me today? Ell, how's it going?
It's good. I'm doing well. I'm doing really good. I'm happy that it's Friday after a long work week, but I'm glad it's the weekend. How are you?
I am good. I'm also glad it's the weekend. It has been a long week for me. Just one-on-one meetings with students and all this other stuff, and I'm just ready for a break. Just ready for a break. Spring break is in 2 weeks, and I just can't wait. And then after that, it's just a month left of school. So,
nice.
And then I'm free forever. Theoretically, I'm free forever. You know, who knows?
Oh yeah,
who knows? But man. Today's a big day for us. Today is a very, very big day for us.
Very, very, very.
We are a year old. Our
Happy
first episode
to us.
Yeah. Our first episode was recorded on March 3rd, which is a Thursday of last year. And we uploaded our first video to YouTube on March 6th, 2022. So 3 days later. So that would have been a Sunday probably, because that was when we were still
that would have been Sunday.
Sundays.
Yep.
Because we only recently changed to uploading the Mondays.
To Mondays. Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, it's wild to think, man. It's been a crazy year. A lot has happened. I can't even remember what we talked about in our first episode. So I think we just did like introductions or something.
It was probably introductions, and maybe we talked about some gaming news, I want to say. Yeah. Other than that, I think, man, that's so funny. It's funny. I think it's random that it's interesting that you say that about that first video, because I think the other day I was just looking at content, because every now and then, I'm transferring certain content to like our Facebook page, which everyone should go follow, Respawn Please podcast. But I'll put old podcast episodes up there to eventually get to where we are currently. Yeah. And you had a different setup. And then I think I had the same setup, if I remember correctly. It's the same. The only thing difference is I had
changes like every other month. Yeah. Let's be real, because I'm a crazy person. I always have to change things.
Yeah, and then, I just remember that. I'm like, oh wow, I just looked at it and then I tried to remember what it was like. I mean, we can go back and look, but now, the growth and the difference in the way that we initially started to how we do it now. So interesting.
I bet. I'm like scared to go back and watch our old stuff, to be honest. I'm scared to go back. I'm just like in general scared to watch anything that I'm in, because like I just don't want to look at my dumb face, and I don't want to hear my dumb voice.
I get you. I'm the same way. It's like no. I just because sometimes I have to do the clips, and then I'll go through and I'll be like, all right, I don't want to hear myself. Cut, let's go.
Yeah. I feel that for sure. I felt that big time the other day when I was editing the match one. I've been feeling that way for every single match, because like I gotta upload the other two some more matches up to YouTube for comp play and Overwatch, where I'm just like, man, we should just let Ell just keep the camera on Ell the entire time, because like my gameplay sucks and I should just shut the hell up.
No,
because it's like me rambling and then you're taking the game super seriously and I'm just rambling. It's really a weird like juxtaposition between us, where it's like you're serious and you're intense, you're taking it seriously, and I'm just like rambling off of nonsense doesn't even matter.
That's funny. No, it's just it's our dynamic, because sometimes I don't even realize I'm doing it. I just get focused in there, especially in Overwatch, because I do take it a little bit more seriously, even though I'm not going to go pro or anything, but it's just I get sucked into it and I'm like, all right, let's do this. I'm just like focused, and then I'm not really paying attention, and sometimes I'll miss things that you say and I'll be like, huh? And then but
and I'm just like, whatever, man, cool. This is stuff's happening. I'm dying. Yeah. But so man, it's wild. We're a year old. But before we get into the celebration, before we get into a long talk about where we started, where we are now, what have you been playing this week, Ell? What games have you dived into and made your life this week?
So this week, played a little bit of the demo. Me and you have played the demo of a game that came out today, Wolong, The Fallen Dynasty. Had a lot of fun of that. Because the game out, if for those who don't know, Wolong is it made by the same people that made Dark Souls?
No. It's made by Ninja Theory.
Sorry. Yes. That's right. Ninja. I forgot the company's name, but it's very Dead Souls like.
Team Ninja, not Team
Ninja. There you go. Yeah. It's a very fun game. I think it was, we talked about it where it's compared to a little bit just because of like the boss battles and stuff like that. But to me, it's a lot more fun and faster and quicker. And so it's cool. It's on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, go check it out. It's pretty fun. Just a game you can go in there and just kind of like button mash, have fun with it. Played that.
You can't button mash it. You got to be more strategic.
I just button mash.
Okay. You got through with just button mashing? That's
sometimes. I mean, I did. Don't get me wrong. I did have to like, what was it, parry and do a bunch of different.
You have to do the parries, stuff like that.
But a lot of times when I first started, I was just like mash. But had fun with that. Slay the Spire, of course. I've gotten sucked back into Slay the Spire. I'm playing that and going through the classes again. Grand Theft Auto 3, the definitive edition. It's funny because I actually waited because when it first came out, of course, everybody knows that it was very buggy, like on PC, and it just wasn't running great. So I was like, I'm not going to get it yet. I'm going to wait for a little while. And I waited for a long time till eventually, I think I saw it on sale and I bought it and it was updated and everything and it runs smooth now. So I'm having a blast with it. It's a comfort game for me. Playing that. And I want to say, I think, of course, Overwatch 2. We've been playing Overwatch, and I think
you're forgetting the most important thing that we played on Wednesday, man.
Oh, yeah, Power Wash Simulator. Sorry.
The greatest game ever invented.
The most calmest game ever invented. But yeah, Power Wash Simulator and, Vampire Survivors. So it's been like a variety of games. So, yeah, what have you been playing?
Before we get into that, I just want to say, I don't know if you follow Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox and all that. He recently tweeted out that he got all the achievements in Vampire Survivor.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
it's like, man, the head of a freaking, Xbox, CEO of Xbox, whatever, is like, he took the time to get all the achievements at Vampire Survivor. I haven't even like come close to getting most of those. But
no, me either. Holy crap.
It's like, man, dedication. Anyways, I've been playing Overwatch, of course, Power Wash Simulator. And then, I just randomly decided that I said, fuck it. Why not? Why not do this? Why not do this? I started playing World of Warcraft.
Wow.
Let me tell you, I'm addicted.
Oh boy.
I'm playing it on my personal stream. I created a very specific character just for my streams, which is a night elf hunter. So I'm playing her, and then I created a character off stream, and I've been playing the hell out of my character off stream. And so, yeah, just been diving into World of Warcraft again.
Nice.
Just because I just want to get lost. I tweeted out that I'm playing World of Warcraft again because I want to find happiness. That's what I put in my tweet. And then also on the side, I've been playing a little bit of Diablo 3 because the newest season of Diablo 3 has started, and so there's a bunch of like cool stuff you can unlock and crap, and so I'm doing that. But yeah, gearing up for Diablo 4. The beta for Diablo 4 starts in a couple of weeks, March 17th. So I'll be getting in on that.
That's real soon.
So, yeah, because it's from let me check real quick. It's from like the 17th to it's the early access beta is March 17th to the 19th, and then open beta is 24th to the 26th. So they have like 2 phases coming up. I'm going to be part of the early access one, because if you pre-order, you get the early access stuff. So
yeah. Oh, nice.
So I pre-ordered it today. I bought the $100 package for some reason, because I just was like, oh, you get stuff in other Diablo, you get stuff in World of Warcraft. Why not go for this $100 one?
Gotcha.
So
it makes sense for you.
Yeah, it's like I'm playing these other games, so why not? And yeah. So that's what I've been doing mostly. I have been playing Slay the Spire occasionally. Like I'll put a podcast on, or I'll throw like something up on my computer that I can just listen to. And I've been playing Slay the Spire, trying to finish all the secret endings. I still need to get the secret ending, or the real ending, the true ending for the defect, and I've been struggling with that for some reason. So I'm trying to get the defects ending. But other than that, I just need I think that's the only trophy I need left for the platinum it on PlayStation. So
wow, nice.
Trying to get all the trophies, and it's been taking me a long time. So
I got that. That makes sense. This reminds me to kind of go back on WoW. This has nothing to do with WoW, but that game reminds me of another game. Before I learned about WoW, I learned about. Do you remember Guild Wars?
Yeah, I remember Guild Wars.
Is that even a thing anymore, or did that just die out?
No, I mean, there's Guild Wars 2. I don't know if Guild Wars 1 is still a thing, but
gotcha.
I know Guild Wars 2 is still popular. My dad plays it, actually.
Oh, wow. My little brother got me back on it like way back in the day, and I played that for like a long time, and then I stopped. And so.
Really? Guild Wars is what got you into an MMO?
Yeah, just because I think my little brother at the time, he got into PC gaming before I did. I was like very like system. I was like either PlayStation or Xbox. That's what I'm on. And he got on to, he was into like building PCs and stuff way before me. And that's like one of the first games he got when he first got his first like gaming PC. And then he would play it and he'd be like, do you want to create a character? And I was like, sure. And then he showed me, this is what you do. You go do this and go into this world and do all this stuff. And I was like, wow. And I would just spend hours playing it.
You go, wow. Like, what's
his
exactly.
Name? Wow. Owen Wilson. Wow.
Yeah, Owen Wilson. Wow.
Yeah.
We just make the rest of this podcast, the 1 year anniversary of our podcast, we'll just do wow. Yeah, man, I never played Guild Wars 1 or 2 myself, but yeah, my dad plays it religiously. It's like, it's his World of Warcraft, so.
Nice, makes sense.
He played World of Warcraft for the longest time, and then, I don't know, he says he hates it now. So.
Enough.
Yeah. But it is what it is. What else have I been playing? I think that's it. I mean, I played the Wolong Dynasty, Fallen Dynasty stuff. We're going to talk about it here in a little bit. Everyone's like garbage on PC, and so I'm just kind of like, I kind of don't want to play it. So
I get that. I definitely get that.
Also, like their reviews and stuff, you know, they're good, but it also makes me go, yeah, I don't really care if I play this now. So, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But before we get into the review roundup for Wolong and other video game news, let's talk about that. We're a year old. It's been a year.
Yes.
We've done a lot, and we have a lot of plans for 2023 from our Overwatch series that we just started yesterday. So we have a comp match going up every Tuesday and Thursday. Some of them we win, some of them we lose. Maybe we'll win more than we lose. I don't know. Well, right now I can't spoil anything right now, but there'll be a match. Oh, maybe sometimes 2 matches because some of the matches go by very quickly.
They do.
Maybe because we won them. Maybe because we just lost horribly. Who knows? You know.
Exactly.
But we'll have a matchup every Tuesday and Thursday. A match will go up, so be on the lookout for that. We have our anime review series as well. Review Please Anime Edition. We have the Review Please video game edition as well, which I need to get to work on some of these reviews that I keep saying I'm going to do, and then I get beat down by real life stuff. So
it happens. Hey, you know, we get to it when we get to it.
But man, we've done a lot in this year, and it started with just wanting to do a podcast.
Yep.
And we've slowly been trying to figure out other things that we can add. And so, I have a question for you. How do you feel about the content so far, El? From where we started to where we're at now, and where you want to go in the future?
So it's interesting because if you would have asked me that question in the middle of when we first started it, I wouldn't have guessed that it would go to where we're currently going. But I'm excited for the content because more than anything, it's what this podcast has helped me with is to kind of like get into the how do I say it? In the space of creating, I guess, you know, video game content like the ones that we're doing, and then plus the reviewing. Because me myself, it's interesting because I feel like I don't know if I'm what am I trying to say? I'm not like that great of a reviewer or like a video game like content creator, but I've always been curious in it, and this is like a way for me that actually has like garnered my interest even more and wanting to like keep continuing to do it. So it's it's really fun, and I enjoy everything that we're doing so far and all the things that we're going to do. Mm-hmm. And so I can foresee it going like very far because it's, for the way that we're mapping it. And we've talked about this outside of the podcast, of all the things that we're working on, the things that we want to do, and the things that like just the ideas that we can kind of come up with. It's exciting for me, I'd say. Because it's interesting because like when we first started, like you said, like we were just trying to do a podcast about video games because we love video games. Just trying to talk about the news, stuff that we like, and just come up with these concepts or just whatever, discussion questions. To it's because I mentioned I mentioned this to you before we started the podcast where when it initially started, the rhythm of the way that we were doing things was different to how we're doing it now.
Yeah.
And I've seen the growth, and I've seen that where we can take it, and it's like I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
All that runaround of that me just blurbing out stuff. I'm excited for where the content is going to go.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what else we come up with, because like now it has me thinking of like, okay, cool, like what else can we do? But I also want to be careful with that because I want to make sure first that we do what we're going to do right now. And then we see how that goes. And then I don't want to add too much on the plate to where it's like hard to balance everything. And I kind of want to be like, well, let's, keep doing the podcast. Let's do these gameplays. Let's do these Respawn plays, these anime review videos and stuff like that. See how we like that. And then, decide if we want to continue to do that. And then depending on if we feel that we have space for more things, then, we try new things. So it's pretty fun, I'd say. How do you feel about the content?
So far I feel good about it. Like, I think there's clear, of course my dogs are going to start barking as soon as it's my turn to talk.
Input.
They're chasing the cat down right now.
Oh.
But yeah, like I like where we're at right now. Like I again, like similar to you, I see what we're doing. I see the potential in everything that we're doing. There's a few things that I need to get better about. Like I know, like consciously, I want to become a better host. I feel like I struggle sometimes with trying to have a cohesive discussion on the podcast, and like pulling quotes and stuff. I need to get like things I need to get better about. And so those are areas that I know I need to grow in. And like, I'm going to focus on trying to become a better host. I think I do a decent job now, but there's always, of course, room for improvement, in that regard. And same with all the other content that we're doing. The thing like with me is like, I'm excited about relearning how to edit. Not that like I ever stopped like video editing or anything like that, but like, there's a good period of time where I just never was doing any sort of video editing at all. And it's nice to be able to like, brush the cobwebs away and try to flex my editing fingers again with the review please stuff and the gameplay stuff and all that, and the light editing that we do with the podcast. So it's been nice, like regaining skills and trying to figure out ways. Okay, so I'm learning these skills now. How can I enhance the content that we're making? And so just trying to find things like that. So yeah,
nice. Definitely, I agree 100%. And so it's funny that you say that, because the things that we've been doing, like or that we started doing, has got me thinking of new ways to make things interesting and funny for me. And so like I've done that with like the clips of thinking of cool, how can I do something cool and new? And then it's got me watching like YouTube videos and watching, so to speak, the video, but I'm more so watching how the editor edits. And I'm watching like the choices that they make for cuts, for sound cues, for funny moments and stuff, and seeing like, okay, cool. How can I apply that to the podcast? And, try new things to keep things constantly not changing, but, switching it up every now and then to make it more appealing to like a viewer who maybe doesn't know us,
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, I admire you so much for taking on that role of like making those clips for TikTok and stuff. Cause it's like,
oh yeah.
I told you early on that I was like, I don't like TikTok. I don't like social media stuff. And that still holds true. Like if I was doing this alone, then there would be no TikTok, because I just don't. Yeah. But like, I admire you so much for like taking the initiative with that and like diving deep into it and trying to develop that skill and everything. Like that's just freaking awesome.
Man,
so I just want to say thank you so much, because like this is something I haven't like praised you with, like even in the short time you've been doing those clips and everything. I can already see like a difference, because like I go back and I do watch the clips. I may not watch like the full length podcast and stuff, but I do go in and watch the clips, and like just seeing your evolution with the clips. It's like, man, there's a marked difference, and like from the very first one that you created to the one that you created over the weekend for Spy X Family. Like, it's like, or not over the weekend, but like a week ago. And like, but like, there's a huge difference. I'm like, man, he's like, you're knocking it out of the freaking park with that. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. So. It's interesting because I guess, because because outside of this, I do a lot of music like content and stuff for like my music and stuff that I do performance wise and everything. And so I'm always constantly thinking of ways to make things interesting and eye catching or like ear catching for people. And I find it a challenge because a lot of times social media, you know, our attention span has gone down, sad to say, but on social media, it's just gone down. And so you're people who create content on social media and for social media, you have to catch people's attention like very quick, like within the first couple of seconds. And so I'm always thinking of like, what's something funny, you know, that we said, or something cool that I can do for the podcast clip to get people to draw in, like what's something that's possibly controversial that I could like, you know, pull and make it like interesting that'll make people want to talk. And so I have a blast doing it, even to creating the thumbnails. I've slowly gotten better and better as I create more and more thumbnails, and I'm having a blast with that. And I love doing that. And I'm like, oh, it's so cool. You know, I constantly, you should see me outside the podcast where sometimes when I'm thinking of an idea for a thumbnail, I'll go to YouTube and I'll just look at the people that I subscribe to, and I'll look at their thumbnails and I'll go, okay, let me look at them and see what other people are doing and try to draw inspiration from that for the stuff that we create. And so I'm having a blast because it's funny enough, if you would have told me in college because we both, did you major in, would you majored in writing, right?
I was double majored in creative writing and theater.
Gotcha. So being someone who was I majored in digital filmmaking, and at the time I always wanted to be behind the camera. I wanted to shoot and like do the scenes and stuff like that. That's where I drew inspiration from. And like, I was like, I never want to edit. Like that's how I was in college. To now I'm like, oh, cool. My brain has gotten a whole lot better at like finding like clippable moments. I can be like, here, cut, let's put it here, and then just give it to you like that. And so I'm having a lot of blast. It feels like it feels almost funny enough. It feels like Tetris, and I'm trying to clear these lines out, and I'm just like, here you go, right here, and so I've gotten way better, and it's just a lot of fun to do for me.
Yeah. And I want to backtrack just real quick. For your thumbnails, I forgot to tell you this, and I keep telling Blitz to tell you this, and so I don't know if he's said this to you, but Blitz was telling me the other night, man, you guys have been knocking it out of the park with the thumbnails. I was like, well, you need to tell Elle that, because Elle's the one doing it all, man. He's like, oh man, I just loved like the Overwatch one that he did with where he put your head on Moira's body. It was freaking hilarious. It was like, yeah, tell Elle that. Don't tell me that. Tell Elle.
Go. That's so funny. Yeah.
Like we play games together all the time. You can tell Elle this. You don't have to tell me this. So hopefully Blitz will tell you eventually.
Oh yeah, it's all cool. I have a blast because stuff like doing silly stuff like that just makes me laugh, and it makes it that much more enjoyable, you know? Yeah. And so like, just creating stuff like that and being like, this would be funny. Like, I think this is funny. And it's just like, when I do stuff like everything that I create, it's like, I'm not doing it for anyone else, but like me most of the time. I'm just like, I'm making myself laugh, because at the end of the day, if I'm having come with it, I'm pretty sure somebody else will get a laugh out of it or be like, let me check this out. And, you know, this seems cool. And like I said, thumbnails too is something that if it's eye catching and people see it, they'll want to click on the video, check it out, watch it. But man, I have a blast doing them. So it's super fun. Yeah.
And just, I'm going to bring this into my real life job here. This is something I've been telling my students this past week and last week in workshops for their writing. It is to just have fun with it, because we do need to worry about like the audience and stuff, but like we also need to create something that we love first, right?
Yep.
And you need to do that because if you don't love what you're doing, then why are you even doing it? You know, like if you're making it a miserable experience for you, because I had a couple of students going in our meetings being like, yeah, I don't really like what I wrote. And it's like, well, then why didn't you do it? And he's like, every single one was like, well, I thought I had to do it this way because of this. And I was like, no. Like at the end of the day, you got to write your stories the way you want to write them. Fuck everything else. Don't worry about my opinion. Don't worry about your classmates' opinion. Write what you want first. Have fun with it. And that's kind of the energy I'm taking in with Respawn Please too, is like, yeah, we just need to have fun with it first. Like, because if we're not having fun, then it's going to be obvious, right? So yeah. Anyways, I just rambled. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, I agree 100%. If anybody who's listening, just whatever, if you leave with anything besides the news and everything that we talk about and the ramblings that we go on, but is that if you ever want to create anything, the only thing you need to worry about is creating for yourself and what you want to see more of. That's the most important thing. That's the number one lesson that I've learned in life, is that don't create what you think what other people want to see, create what you want to see more of. That's like tip number one, because at the end of the day, even if you feel like something that you like or whatever you're trying to create, you feel like there's not that many people who like it, you'll be surprised to know that there's hundreds, thousands, if not millions of people that might like the thing that you like. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, there's literally we're at almost 5 billion people in the world, I think. Or are we at 8?
We're like 6 billion.
6 billion.
6, 7. I don't know. I don't keep track of humanity.
If you're into numbers, statistically, there's probably millions, if not thousands, hundreds, whatever, people that are going to like the same thing. And I kid you not, I see it all the time on YouTube. I randomly found somebody who loved Twisted Metal as much as I do. And I was like, what? This is crazy. And I went through like this. They went through a whole anthology and I watched all their videos. And believe me, if there's somebody out there that loves it as much as I do, whatever you love, I'm pretty sure there are other people who are going to like it, if not love it even more, just as much, you know?
I just can't believe it. I
know.
Twisted Metal, man.
Yeah.
People are weird. I'm joking. There's actually a person that I think you should follow. There's a person named Blessing Adeyoye Jr. that you should follow. He loves Twisted Metal. I listened to a podcast that he's on, and he hypes up the Peacock show that's coming sometime this year about Twisted Metal. He's super hyped up about it and gets excited whenever there's news about it. Anyways. Nice. But yeah, like, man, I 100% agree with everything you said though. Like, you just got to have fun with what we're doing. And I think that's like the energy we're trying to bring with Respawn Please.
Yeah, definitely.
I fully confess there are days where I have super low energy, both on stream and in general when we talk about things. But I feel like I bug you sometimes because I'm constantly texting you things. I text you a lot of news specific things.
No, definitely. It's all good. You kind of keep me in the know, because sometimes I'll forget to, like, I might not know, or I might not have heard the news. And then if I see something and I'll be like, oh, let me text this to you. Like, I texted you the other day a topic that we're going to talk about later. I'm going to bring up. And I was like, oh, did you see this? This is cool. And so it keeps me in the know, and we just keep each other in the know of stuff, you know? And so it's never a bother. And so I'm more than happy to be like, oh, wow, I didn't know this.
Yeah. I just always feel like I bug people. I think that's a toxic personality trait of mine. It's probably not good. But anyways, what areas like we kind of touched on it already, but like what areas do you want to like grow in? Like any like specific things that you want to see us grow with? Whether it's with the reviews, whether it's certain aspects of the podcast, whether it's when we are game nights on Wednesdays.
I think I'd say if I had to name a place where I would want us to grow, two come to mind that I think we're doing great at. One being, we just started. I can't wait to see more growth in the Wednesday gameplays when we play live and stuff like that. I think that's like fun and has a lot of potential. And I want to make sure that we just have, a little bit more variety, which we're going to get to as, we continue to grow and continue to do things. Because don't get me wrong, I love playing Overwatch, but I also want to dip into other things. And, next week we'll play a new game. And so, but I can't wait to see that growth. And then the only other place I'll say, which will take time, is I'm already seeing it because I have in my brain, I have it planned out and I have it mapped out where, and I've talked to you about this, I'm always constantly thinking of ways to have content coming out even when we're not doing anything. Yeah. Like being ahead of the curve and trying to be like, okay, I want to be like, all right, Jesus, I got next week's content already ready to go. It's scheduled. It's good to go. And so the rhythm of trying not to overwork versus like being like on schedule and on how do I say? I guess maybe just being on time with stuff. And so that's really for me as far as like making sure that I'm always like, okay, cool, we did content, cool, I need to make a clip out of it, and being consistent. That's what I make sure. I want to make sure that we're always, even if we only drop something once a week, I'm being like whether me being like a clip or two, being like, at least we got that out, Yeah. And so, but everything else, I think, with that being said, I think that all of those will continue to grow, because we're just kind of like it. I told you this at the beginning or before the podcast, where it feels like we're on a new rhythm. And so because we're on that new rhythm, it keeps like, oh, okay, we're gearing up. And so once everything is like in rhythm and in motion, then I'm like, oh, it almost feels like it's unstoppable. And so I'm just like, here, we're doing this, and just having a lot of fun doing a bunch of different things. And so, but other than that, for me, what about you?
For me, like, I'm with you on the consistency thing. That's something I want to focus more on too, on my part. And giving myself more time to actually do things, because I kind of wait to the last minute. Full confession, y'all. Because I tend to wait to the last minute to do things just because of how busy my week is and stuff. And I'm like, oh crap, I got to make sure I get this done. So I need to get better about that. But I do want to step up the consistency and like develop a schedule, not just for us, but like a schedule for the channel itself, for Respawn Please. Like, we're going to have content come out on this specific day, and give us time to actually work towards that day, like, and all that. And then on the flip side to that, I also want to, we have a website, but I don't really regularly update the website like I probably should. And so I want to inject more content that way, and not just be a dumping ground for the podcast, because that's sort of what it is right now, where it's just like our podcast episodes appear on the website. That's pretty much it. And whenever we have a review, our whether it's the anime review or the video game reviews, they pop up there too. But like, I want to have like content that also flows on the website to kind of bridge the gap for when we do have long stretches without reviews, or if we skip a podcast day or something because of personal things. So I'm just finding content that we could put on the website.
Definitely
to keep the website up to date.
And like I said, I think with everything that you said, it'll happen. It'll just take a little bit of time and finding the rhythm as to where it's like comfortable. Because the last thing I want to happen is to where it starts to feel like work. That's the last thing. It should never feel like that. Or at least most of the time, it shouldn't feel like that. Yeah. And I think with time, as long as like whenever as we continue in like trial and error, there'll be a point where you're like, okay, you'll kind of learn like, your rhythm when you work on stuff, and what's your optimal, time, or like optimal way to do things. And once that works, and you kind of find that for both of us, then I think it'll just be coming out, and it's just like a factory, just do robot putting stuff together. And so,
oh God, we should be robots, but we need to make sure we have emotion in our work. We can't be emotionless.
Oh yeah, definitely, of course.
Before we continue on, I just want to give a shout out to MJ, Little Dove. She's in the chat. Hey, MJ,
Little
how
Dove.
you doing? Hope you're doing well today. Thank you for stopping by.
Hey.
And also, just as we wrap this up, do you have any last minute things you want to talk about in regards to our 1 year anniversary?
First, I want to say happy birthday to the podcast. And and then I want to say that I can't wait to see when we come back to this in a year, what it looks like. We'll be like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
2 years old.
Exactly, when we're 2 years old. And so I can't wait. But other than that, excited to be here.
Yeah. I just want to thank everyone for the support over the year. We still have a long way to go, but like hopefully everything will start coming together, and we have a more consistent schedule with our work and everything. I've loved every second of this. I think I can speak for Elle with this too, that Elle's loved every second of this as well. So
definitely.
We have rough edges that we have to smooth out, but hey, I think that's just part of life. So we will get those.
Oh yeah.
But I am so excited to see where we're going to be at by the end of the year. Just like with all the content plans that we have and everything that we would like to do. And yeah, I'm excited to see where we're going to end up at the end of the year. Cause like there's so much we want to do and we just need to make sure we do it. you know? So we just need to punch each other in the face. Probably not. I can't really punch you from across the world, but yeah. So, but yeah, man, it's something. It's wild to think that a year ago, I just randomly messaged you on Facebook and was like, hey, do you want to start a podcast with me? Because
yeah, exactly.
It was just a random message. It was like, man, I need someone to talk to about video games. I just want to talk about video games. And so we met briefly, had like an hour conversation about like what we would want to do.
Yeah.
And then here we are a year later, expanding in different ways and trying to explore different things. So it's just wild to think how that started.
Crazy.
Because my original plan was doing this all by myself. And I was like, you know what? I need someone to bounce off. And I went to you. I went to one of my oldest friend, my oldest friend. I can firmly say that you're the person that I've been friends with the longest. And so I just want to say thank you for going on this journey with me, man. It's like, it means the world to me.
Likewise.
So.
Likewise. Thank you for even thinking of me. So I appreciate it.
All right. I'm not going to get any more touchy-feely with you. You don't need to see my emotions anymore. I'm going back to being a robot. MJ says, hey. MJ says, hey. And says happy birthday. To
hey, thank you.
So now with all of that out of the way, all the touchy-feely stuff out of the way, let's get into some newsy and review roundups. We have a review roundup for Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. It just came out today and it currently sits at an 82 on OpenCritic. I pulled 2 reviews from the normal ones that I'd normally pull from, GameSpot and IGN. So let's dive into that. Over in IGN, Mitchell Saltzman gave it an 8 out of 10, saying, Wo Long I can't talk. Wo Long Fallen Dynasty's combat plays very different from Team Ninja's own Neo games, more in the mold of Sekiro than Dark Souls, and yet it manages to excel and falter in just about the same areas. When it comes to the clashing of melee weapons, Wo Long is among the best in the genre, full stop. Its action is fast and thrilling. The options for taking down its ferocious enemies are many and immensely rewarding to master, and its deflection-heavy combat is one of the most satisfying since Sekiro. All of those strengths outweigh an overbearing loot system, poor storytelling, and even disappointing lack of variety in enemies. If not for that, Wo Long might have been one of Team Ninja's greatest achievements. As it is, it's simply a great one. And then over on GameSpot, Richard Wakeling gave it an 8 out of 10, saying, I pulled 2 quotes here because I wanted to highlight some of the performance issues that is happening on PC. But Richard Wakeling said, unfortunately, the game also suffers from a few technical issues. Stuttering and slowdown are both frequent annoyances on PC, where poor optimization ensures that altering the settings does little to alleviate these problems. I never encountered a situation where this hampered my ability to defeat enemies, so timing deflections wasn't affected by it. But it's still disappointing that another PC release is launching in such a haphazard state. It should be noted that someone else playing the game on PS5 didn't encounter the same issues, so it's likely these problems are confined to PC. I can confirm that the little bit that I played earlier today, I was having a lot of PC issues. That made me not want to play it. But continuing with the rest of his review, the fact that Wo Long's demo features the first 2 levels and carries your save to the full game is a boon for those who might otherwise be put off. It gives you the opportunity to challenge the first boss for yourself and find out whether it's the barrier to entry I imagine it will be for many players. If you can defeat, I can't even say the boss's name, so I'm not going to try. But if you can defeat the boss, the game that follows is a thrilling yet approachable addition to the Souls-like genre. Its parry-based combat is frequently stellar, and Team Ninja has made a number of smart changes to keep Wo Long feeling fresh, even if there's always a tinge of familiarity. It has its issues, but if you're craving a fast-paced action RPG built on satisfying combat, Wolong ticks most of the right boxes. So Ell, based on your experience with the demo, does the review surprise you at all?
I'd say for me, it doesn't surprise me. This is the scores that they gave it. Both gave it 8 out of 10. I think if I remember, Metacritic was giving it, was it 82?
Yeah, OpenCritic it's sitting on an 82 right now.
OpenCritic, yeah. So. This is exactly where I thought I was going to land. Because the demo, interestingly enough, I think we talked about this when we first played the demo. I was like, it's giving me like PlayStation prompts, even though like,
like, we're playing on PC. Playing on mouse and keyboard was fucking impossible.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay. But the combat actually had me wanting to continue to play it. I liked it. I liked the art style, the battles. They were a lot of fun for me. Because me and you are both, it's not going to be new if people who listen to the podcast know this about us, but we're not very much into the Souls-like games, just because they're not, for us, or I'd say for myself, they're not very fun. If it's almost, funny enough, it's very feels very soul-crushing to just constantly be defeated by these bosses. It feels impossible, and it's not very, the gameplay loop is not very fun. But for Wolong, for me, I had a great time with it. I haven't played the full game yet, so I'm pretty sure I haven't experienced any of the stuttering or the PC issues that have been happening. But I do plan on playing this game and going through it. And so, but to go back to your question, I'm not surprised by it. I'm pretty sure, like I said, it's going to have its faults, like they were saying. So this is exactly where I thought it was going to land. I didn't think it was going to be amazing. But I will say that because I remember people were talking about it. I think it was in the Mitchell Saltzman review here. Team Ninja, this is like compared to their last game. I can't remember what their last game was.
Yeah, their last games were Neo 1 and Neo 2.
So
they also made Final Fantasy Stranger in Paradise, I believe.
Okay.
Do you remember that
game? I was gonna say, but from the previous things that they made, it seems like this is a step in the right direction to just level up and to get better at the things that they're creating. And so that's exciting. And I think that's a good step. And I think that they're going to learn from all the criticism and just PC users and players that have been talking about the issues that they're having. And hopefully that, of course, that they provide patches and updates to help those playing on the PC. And I think that going forward, hopefully that they learn from this, and then whatever they create next will be just that much better than Wolong. So
it doesn't surprise me either. I think we both landed when we've talked about this in the past. We figured we both figured that it was going to land in this way, and it would have been awesome to see it do better. But I was, it is what it is. I'm going to be interested in to see if it's going to have the sustainability of say Elden Ring. If people are going to be talking about it in like a month or two, where it feels like people are still talking about Elden Ring, but there's good reason for people to still talk about Elden Ring.
Exactly.
So I'm interested in seeing the direction, and I think this is a good path to take. To not quite be like I don't know what I'm trying to say right now. Oh, man. I knew what I was trying to say, and then it just went out the brain. I feel like this is a good sort of thing to have on the side of Elden Ring, if that makes sense. Yeah. Maybe it's not as difficult as Elden Ring, but it has, and maybe it's not as ambitious as Elden Ring, but it still offers a good time. And
exactly.
And sort of carries sort of that torch with the Souls-like genre. So
definitely. I
feel like this would be a good filler. Think of anime. You have that filler episode. This is the filler episode. Yeah. You have the Elden Ring with this last Elden Ring season, and then we got this filler season, and then we're gonna get some more stuff. Exactly. That's the best comparison I could give it. I hope
it makes perfect sense.
So it's weird to compare this to anime. Anyways, but yeah, I'm interested in playing it. I'm gonna try playing it on my Xbox. I'm gonna try playing it on the Xbox just to see if I encounter any more of the issues like the PC had. But I only played it for like 15 minutes earlier today, and it was just like, to me, which is weird because I didn't really have any issues with the demo, so I don't know why I suddenly had issues with the full game. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird thing that happened. So
it happened.
But yeah, I'm gonna try it on Xbox just to see, and then go from there, because it's definitely not a game that I think I'm going to buy. So play it through Game Pass, and then either I stick with it or not stick with it, because I bought Elden Ring and I was miserable through all of Elden Ring. So I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson. But yeah, so we were going to I was going to have another review roundup, but there are no reviews for Dynasty, Destiny 2 Lightfall. I think because even though Destiny 2 Lightfall came out this week, a lot of reviews are waiting for actually, hold on. Now reviews are popping up. Oh my god!
Whoa.
I'm a fool. Let's go see what does it have on open. Yeah, nothing's on Open Critic right now, so I'm kind of hesitant, because there's a couple of I think because the a lot of outlets are waiting for the raid to drop next week. For some reason the raid doesn't drop until like the 10th of March. Even though the expansion pack came out earlier this week, they're not dropping the raid until later, which was weird. But whatever. I guess they wanted people to prepare for the raid or something. I don't know. But so yeah, it seems like people are liking it. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen anything overly negative about it. So yeah. Are you interested in Destiny at all?
Oh no, I think that's the one I'm not. I have enough grinding as it is in Overwatch 2. Because like I think when Destiny first came out, I played it a little bit, but I just wasn't drawn into it. And so, but I do know it has a dedicated fan base where people love it, and so more power to them that they're getting more from this. And so but for me, I'm just like, I might pass on this.
Yeah. I feel that. I tried to get into I installed Destiny. I think I told you this a couple of weeks ago. I installed Destiny and I was like, I'm gonna play Destiny. And then I uninstalled it. Never actually opened it or played it. It's like I installed it and then I uninstalled it because I was like, I'm not actually gonna play this. And the reason I installed it was because I saw a trailer leading up to the Lightfall, and I was like, oh, this looks so cool. Yeah. And then I was like, I don't want to do this. So but kudos to the Destiny people. I mean, I am interested to see what like the final reviews are going to be once the raid hits and people can sink their teeth into it and stuff. So I understand like the kind of the delay in it. So but moving on from some review roundups, let's talk about the big news that everybody's going to love. Elden Ring is getting an expansion. And it was revealed on their Twitter accounts it was on this past Tuesday. It was revealed on Tuesday via their Twitter account. And the tweet goes, "Rise, tarnished, and let us walk a new path together. An upcoming expansion for Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, is currently in development. We hope you look forward to new adventures in the lands between." And so fans of Elden Ring have something to look forward to. There's no definitive dates. There's no information beyond that. Just the title and some cool ass artwork. There's some cool artwork here of the Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Oh yeah.
So that's all that was revealed. Elle, are you excited about it? Are you interested?
Hey, I'm excited for people who play this game. Not me, but it's you're going to get more monsters and more bosses. So people who are into the this Elden Ring Souls, just whatever game loop, more power to you. And I'm like I said, maybe it's so fascinating because you mentioned it during Wolong, because that's a Dark Souls like game. Like you said, people are still talking about Elden Ring, still playing Elden Ring. And this is probably just going to bring it back up where people are going to talk about the expansion and seeing what they do. It'd be cool to see what they're gonna bring into the expansion. I don't know. Because I'm not well versed into that whole universe with Elden Ring. Like I don't know is there more lore or what's gonna happen, but we'll find out whenever they finish.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see what it's gonna be. Just because like Elden Ring, like even though like I've said this multiple times, I'm not a fan of Elden Ring. in the sense of playing it. I do love watching other people play it though. I like, that's something I enjoy doing, like with any of the Dark Souls games, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching other people play it. So I'm looking forward to watching people play Shadow of the Erdtree, so I can at least live vicariously through other people. Because like I do like the lore of Elden Ring.
Yeah.
But I just can't invest the time. I don't have the patience. I don't have the time or patience. I don't want to beat my head against the wall or anything like that. So it's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching other people play though, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. I get like, that totally.
I watched like Bruce Green do his like entire playthrough of Elden Ring and enjoyed it, even though he hated it apparently, or well, not hate it, but didn't enjoy it. So,
oh yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I enjoy watching other people play, and so I'm looking forward to watching people play the Shadow of the Erdtree. But a game that I am looking forward to, and I have to look forward to even longer now.
Oh boy,
is The Wolf Among Us 2. The Wolf Among Us 2 was delayed out of 2023. Out of curiosity, Elle, before we dive into this conversation, are you a fan of The Wolf Among Us?
Yes, definitely. You're the one that got me into the first one.
Was I? I don't even remember this.
yeah. You. I think you were talking about it because it's based off a graphic novel, right?
Yeah, it's based off a graphic novel.
And I remember looking up the graphic novel and reading it a little bit. And then I remember when this came out, the Telltale, because this came out, I think, after the Walking Dead Telltale game.
Came after the Walking Dead.
And I love that game a lot.
I think it came between season 1 and season 2, or it might have been after season 2 of The Walking Dead. I can't remember.
Exactly.
But it came a
little bit after. But playing this one, I had a lot of fun with it. It's a very interesting, I was going to say whodunit, but for those who don't know, The Wolf Among Us 1, it's a very fun game with an interesting story and world. And
it's a murder mystery based off of fairy tales. Fairy tales come to life basically. All the fairy tales that we've ever heard of are in some form of way are in the game.
Exactly. And it's so cool because they make the fairy tales give them this real world thing where they're in the real world. Mm-hmm. And so it's really cool, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Okay. Yeah, and so over on IGN, this is from The Wolf Among Us 2, pushed to next year in an effort to avoid crunch. It's an article by Rebecca Valentine. Quote, today, Telltale Games has announced that its long-awaited sequel to The Wolf Among Us is being pushed out of 2023 in an effort to avoid crunch and team burnout, as well as accommodate a move from Unreal Engine 4 to 5. CEO Jamie Otsley, I hope I said his name right, I apologize if not, said, quote, making games is difficult and they need to be right, he said, and it doesn't do any of us any good to ship something that's not ready. So, it's a simple solution. It's something that to keep in mind, crunch has been something that's been talked about in the video game industry for a while now, companies trying to find ways to avoid crunch. And so it just seems like Telltale right now is just trying to, find ways to not completely burn out the team. Like something we talked about the other night, feeling burnout in our lives and stuff. Yeah. Burnout is a real thing for people. And, it is admirable that they're trying to avoid that as much as possible. So hopefully that's true. Hopefully it is so they can avoid crunch, and hopefully they won't force their employees to crunch or anything like that. But yeah.
No, definitely. To add to that, I'd say that the best case for this is to give it more time, and this game just come out and it's amazing. That's what, nobody wants to make a bad game ever. Mm-hmm. No company ever wants to make a bad game. Yeah. That I need people, I would hope that people realize that, because sometimes people get upset you guys made this horrible game. That wasn't the plan to make a horrible game. Yeah. But people have to remember that I think what happens is consumers, I'll say, will just, they want, and they want the things now. But if you force people to crunch and you force people to rush a product that's not thoroughly finished or detailed out, then you get this inferior product and it doesn't live up to what it could be. Yeah. And so I always say that giving things more time is always better in the end. I'd say in most cases, I'm not gonna say 100%, but in a lot of cases, it's a whole lot better. So that way, when this game does come out, people can just enjoy it that much more for it, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I'm all for it, giving developers and giving companies just more time to fine tune it. So that way, when it does come out, it is great and it doesn't end up like some games where it just gets like, it comes out and people are hyped about it and it's like, oh, this is horrible, you know? And so I'm all for it, man. Just people just take your time. Don't rush. Never rush to anything.
Yeah. I agree. Like, and especially for like the Wolf Among Us, you know, Wolf Among Us, the first one is like a beloved classic. Like, it's weird to say classic now at this point because it only came out like 10-ish years ago, maybe a little bit more. But like, it's like, it is a beloved game. Like, people really enjoyed the Wolf Among Us. And so there is high expectations for Wolf Among Us 2. Like, I'm at least maybe I'm just jaded and maybe my hype is making me think that other people are hyped about it. But like, I was so excited to see that it was coming back because like, I love the first Wolf Among Us and I really wanted a sequel because of the way Wolf Among Us ends. It's like, there has to be more because I just want more. I want to go on more adventures with Big B. So anyways, my ear is itching me like crazy right now. Sorry.
No, you're good.
But yeah, like, I'm incredibly excited. So like, take the time you need to make this game the best and support your workers and everything. So I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to seeing it when it comes out. 2024, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
You'll see. Now, kind of moving away from video games. Not really moving away from video games. We're still staying in the realm of video games, but we are going into films. It was announced earlier today. Was it earlier today or was it yesterday? I think it was earlier today.
Today?
Yeah, earlier today was Detective Pikachu. Detective Pikachu. I was trying to combine Pikachu and 2 together right there. I don't know if you heard that.
Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu 2 is happening, according to an article over on Polygon. A director and writer have boarded the mysterious sequel. So we're going to get another Detective Pikachu. I'm incredibly excited about this. I absolutely love the first Detective Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds and all of that, voicing Pikachu. Did you enjoy Detective Pikachu 1?
From the bits and pieces I remember, I enjoyed it a lot. It's beautifully, like, it's beautiful, the movie itself. Just all the Pokemon look amazing. The world looks amazing. It's a fun movie to watch.
Oh, yes. I absolutely love the first one. I'm incredibly excited. My brain just broke right now because I just got a text message. I just saw it pop up. It was my little cousin asking me a question. Anyways, but yeah, I'm incredibly excited about Detective Pikachu 2. Like, I've been wanting a sequel since the first one came out because I absolutely love the first one because I'm a crazy person. I adore it so much. One of my favorite movies of all time. Not a particularly good movie. Not a particular movie, but as a Pokemon lover, as a person who loves Pokemon, this was like a dream to see like these Pokemon get like live action-y anime. Granted, they're all, CG, whatever, but they looked fantastic. One of my favorite moments in the movie near the beginning is seeing a Snorlax just like in the middle of the road. There's like stop sign and you have I want to say it's a Machoke. Maybe it was a Machamp. Like directing traffic. One of my favorite, so like the last like 5 seconds, but I love looking at it because just the look of Snorlax. For anybody who doesn't know, Snorlax is my favorite Pokemon of all time, and so just seeing it like in live action made me so happy. And then Mewtwo looked freaking awesome too. Spoiler, everybody, Mewtwo's in Detective Pikachu.
Spoiler alert!
I feel like everybody who would want to watch a Pokemon movie already knows that though. So, but Mewtwo was in Detective Pikachu. Mewtwo looked fantastic. The Ditto was the most off-putting Pokemon ever. Like the Ditto eyes. Oh, God. So freaking weird. Anyways, I'm incredibly excited about this. I got hyped when I saw this. This is not really, there's not too much news about this at all in the article. It's just like, this is happening. It's been confirmed. It's happening. Fantastic. I can't wait to see it because I'm incredibly excited about it because I'm a weird person. I love Pokemon. Damn it. I love Pokemon so much. It's the only thing that brings me happiness. Anyways.
No, definitely. It's one thing that I like, I'll say about this in this realm. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like we're slowly starting to find the right the right mixture or the right writing for film adaptations based on video games, or just taking characters and making them making like good films, I should say, not just like great or whatever, but like really, good films compared to, for those who don't remember, like when they used to adapt old games. I mean, not everybody remembers the 90s Super Mario movie, horrible, or Street Fighter, horrible. Looked
Mortal
cool,
Kombat,
but wasn't that
Mortal
great.
Kombat. Let's be real. The movies are not good. Mortal Kombat movies are not good. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and the Mortal Kombat 1, and then Armageddon, right? Is it the second one?
Yeah, number 2. Yeah.
They're god awful. Like I recently watched them. They're god awful. But
they
were campy fun at the time. So.
Oh yeah. And so I feel like we're finally in a place where we're actually getting good TV shows and good films that are taking stuff from video games and making them into live action or CGI, like Detective Pikachu, and just making them really good. So I feel like we're in a good place for that, because man, if people who didn't see the Super Mario Brother movies in the 90s, consider yourself lucky, because it's not a great movie. It's very horrible. But
it was good. What are you talking about?
I don't know about that.
Those weird Koopas.
Koopas, yeah. Those Koopas, those were not Koopas. I don't know what they were, but
they were like weird dinosaur things, man.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I would agree with you. Like we're in a good like state right now with video game adaptations, from Last of Us on HBO to even Sonic. Like
yeah, exactly.
Sonic 1 was good. Sonic 2 was, I would argue, better than 1.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a Sonic 3. We're getting the Mario movie soon.
Exactly.
Detective Pikachu was great. We're getting a bunch of adaptations. Like we're going to get the Twisted Metal show sometime this year. We're getting Horizon Forbidden, Horizon Forbidden, whatever. We're getting a Horizon show at some point, there's just like a lot of interesting projects being made. And even though Uncharted, like, I don't think Uncharted was a good movie, but people liked it. So like I did all that. So there you go.
Even though it's interesting, because even though a lot of people said it wasn't good, it actually made money in the box office, like when it came out. So people are wanting to see these things. And so
and even with like just say this with Uncharted, even though it wasn't a bad movie, it just it didn't, for me, it just didn't live up to my expectations of what an Uncharted movie should be. But even then, I don't know what an Uncharted movie should be. So, but like, anyway, sorry, I'm just rambling about that. But like, it wasn't a bad movie by any means. But people are eager, like you were saying, people are eager to get these experiences, to see these movies, and my brain just broke. You carry away.
You're good. I think we're in a good place.
Yeah.
Which, staying on this topic, brings up this thing I texted you the other day. The next news here, that Dead by Daylight is getting a movie.
I have so many questions about this.
It's interesting. So this is from IGN by an article by Ryan Dinsdale. It says the multiplayer survival horror game Dead by Daylight is getting a film adaptation from Atomic Monster and Blumhouse. As reported by Variety, the two horror movie powerhouses are teaming up with developer Behavior Interactive to create the film, though haven't shared any details outside of it being an expansion of the Dead by Daylight universe. Let me see. I wanted to pause there and say that I think this has potential. I actually am excited about this, even though they haven't even started anything, whatever. I think this actually has potential because as soon as they announced it, the movie that I immediately thought of was Cabin in the Woods. That's the first movie I thought of.
Yeah.
Because that, in a way, kind of is it kind of feels almost like a Dead by Daylight type of, if Dead by Daylight was a movie, that's what it felt like to me. And so for those who haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, I say go see it. I really enjoyed it a lot. I think that world is so interesting to me by how they do it. I don't want to spoil anything, but I liked it. It's a very good, like, this movie to go watch. Anyway.
Before you continue on, Little Dove says, that means we need to play regularly now, y'all. So
let's go. I'm down for that. Let's do it, Little Dove.
I got to reinstall it. I already installed it because I assumed we were never going to play it again.
I did want to also say, so the article goes on to say, for those worried the film might lose the essence of what Dead by Daylight is all about, Blum added that the team is hoping to find a director and screenwriter who is already a fan. So they're trying to, find someone who's in love with the world and the game And I think that's like, to kind of hone in on that, that's like a key thing for anyone who's making movies from or adaptations from these video games into TV shows and film. As long as the people who are creating it are familiar with it or they even love it, man, I think the product will come out that much better. And so it's the article, this is the quote from Blum. It says, we think it's imperative we find someone who appreciates and loves the world as much as we do to help us bring the game to the big screen, Blum said. And so I think this is like a perfect like mixture because Blumhouse is like notorious for like all these horror movies that they make, which includes Saw, Paranormal Activity, The Conjuring, and so they already have like these cool. Like movies that like a lot of people really like or like have cult followings, and so I think the possibility is there for it to be good, and I think it'd be interesting to see what direction that they take it, and so I'm excited for this. Like I would assume
that if they do this, like when they do this, I would assume they would have to use their original killers, right? I don't think could you see them getting like the added like the ones the killers like, that already have like a franchise, like could you see them
like Freddy Krueger, or do you think
Jason's,
they would?
I would assume they would rely on the original killers that they have, like the ones they created for the game.
I think what would be cool, I'm pretty sure maybe that's how they started out, because this is what this is what I foresee. So they start off with the original killers, right? Boom, perfect, whatever. Then this is what you do something where in the movie, I don't know, in a cabin in the woods type of thing, you're like, oh, there's killers coming from different worlds.
Oh my god, the MCU. They oh my god, we're gonna merge it with the MCU.
Dead by Daylight universe.
They came back from the snap.
They came exactly.
Snap. Oh my god, this is all happening because all these worlds are connected. The multiverse is real, y'all.
Exactly. They can do a Dead by Daylight universe, and it's interconnected with these other killers and stuff. And I think it'd be so cool. I think that.
It's so weird because like they have Stranger Things stuff, they have Resident Evil stuff. Imagine Resident Evil meets Stranger Things. What?
I think the possibility is there. They might not be able to do everything, but I think the possibility is there for them to kind of like do some winks to the fans of Dead by Daylight. But I think this has potential as long as they don't take it as serious, I think, because I think it could kind of be, like I said, I keep referencing it, but a cabin in the woods type of writing, and I think it can be done really well. And so when I saw this, I got excited because I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of cool because I want to see what they end up doing with it and where they take it. And, I'll go to the theaters and watch it. Hopefully it's good. I'm hoping. And I think it'd be cool.
I'm not the biggest horror fan at all. I do enjoy the game. Sorry, I burped. I do enjoy the game and stuff. So I am interested in seeing how they can adapt this. It makes me want to dive into like the lore things that the game has. Because I know there's like lore behind everything. I've just never bothered to like read it or learn about it. Because it's like, it's not like the front and center thing, when you're getting into a game. But they have like their seasons are always based around some like weird like lore things that you unlock and as you progress through the season and stuff. Like you get pages or something like that. And I've just never taken the time to actually listen or read any of that stuff. So maybe I need to start that just to see if like there is a story. Like I'm assuming there is, obviously, but I'm interested in seeing like what they pull from the game. And whether, and like, is it going to just be like 5 people versus it's going to just be 5 characters or 4 characters or however many characters or whatever versus just a monster, and they have to, activate
turn on the generators.
And is that what the movie's going to be? Because that's weird. That would be a weird ass movie.
Or, it's going to be interesting. I think they're going to kind of take those aspects of it, but of course they're gonna have to make some sort of story around it that they have to make. I don't know, that this is just me spitballing. They have to get those generators up in order to get that killer back into its own world or something. I don't know, or imprison it in something, or for them to get out of whatever world they got to with the killer. I don't know. But I think it could work. It'd be like a funny little campy thing,
I do think I think it would need to like lean into Cabin in the Woods, like you said, having a lot of humor, because Cabin in the Wood, like I like Cabin in the Wood because it's not your traditional sort of horror. It is It's very much a mixture of comedy and horror. You know what I mean? Like it is very funny, very charming, very witty. And so I feel like Dead by Daylight would need to like lean into that as well. It would need to be charming / funny while also having some really fucked up shit happening, you know?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I agree. Little Dove didn't really know there was, I knew there was original DBD lore, but I never knew what it was. So, but there's an extensive lore to it. There is extensive lore and like reasons for why there's different killers appearing and stuff like that. Anyways. Yeah. So, like you said, though, I'm interested. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a ways off, probably. Even the article mentions that it's going to be a way off. So probably not this year, probably not next year, maybe 2025 if we're lucky. I mean, if we're really lucky, maybe it comes in at the tail end of 2024. Maybe a 24 Halloween release or something.
Oh,
so, but yeah,
that'd be cool.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. With all that said, Ell, wind us down.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to the now we're on the second year. So we just completed we finished year one anniversary episode. First anniversary episode of the podcast, the Respawn Please podcast, that is. Mm-hmm. You can always catch the podcast live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Or if you're watching this, you can always see me watch the playback. It usually goes live on, I think, is it Monday? I can't remember.
Monday morning.
Yeah, Monday is the video version. So I think, it goes on live on Monday. Or excuse me, it goes on Monday, the recorded version of it, if you missed out on the live. Mm-hmm. You can listen to the audio version of the podcast wherever you get podcasts: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Also, make sure every Wednesday we live stream Respawn Plays, where we're playing whatever game we decide we want to play. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at Respawn Please Podcast, as well as Twitter at Respawn_Please, as well as visiting respawnplease.com for game reviews, stuff about the podcast, and much more that we got coming out here. And make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications when we upload more videos as the year goes on. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Something Ell neglected to mention that on Wednesday we're going to be playing Sons of the Forest.
Oh yeah, Sons of the Forest.
We're going to be playing Sons of the Forest this next Wednesday. So we'll see what happens.
Oh boy, cannibals.
My internet just went out for like 2 seconds. Yeah. Hopefully it didn't disrupt the stream too much. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Have a good night. Good thing we're winding this down. Peace.
Peace.